Hello everybody, I'll be explaining the Darkmasters and Apocalypse, and this is not an evolution video or the fusion about Apocalypse. I think I might make those separately. I already have work on the Puppetmon, or if you're going by Japanese, Pinocchomon, but this one is explaining the Darkmasters, and you know what, I think this is an explaining Apocalypse video. No, wait a second, this is explaining the powers and what their role was in Digimon Adventure, along with Apocalypse, and yeah, so let's get on, and I'll be doing all of these Digimon in the order of they were defeated in, so starting with Metocedramon, and then ending with Apocalypse, and I'll be going over all their powers, abilities, and what they did in Adventure, and oh, so yeah, let's get into the review. And Toei, no, I am not going to allow you to give me another copyright claim. Don't think I didn't forget about what you did on my reaction video. So don't even dare lay one copyright claim. So the first Dark Master that we're going to be talking about is Metocedramon. Now, he runs the Deep Sabers. Yeah, he's a part of the Deep Sabers and runs in he runs in Underwater Army, and he killed Whalemon and was defeated by Wargreymon Strelmon killers, and he only lasted for 2 episodes. Well, actually, no, wait, he lasted for 3 episodes. I'm counting the first episode that all the Dark Masters appeared in, and let's go into his abilities. Metocedramon has something called River of Power, which he uses to kill Waymon, and Metocedramon is the first Darkmaster to be introduced to the Digidestined, and or if we're going by Japan, the Chosen Children, and was actually the first Darkmaster to be defeated and killed. And it's pretty ironic how Metocedramon was the first one to be killed by the Digidestined, or Chosen Children, and how Cedramon was defeated by Garurumon, which was the second villain that they fought. Well, not the second villain, but the second obstacle in the Dead Monarch. And there's also more abilities like the Underworld Squeeze. I'm going with Underworld because I'm not allowed to say the true word of it, and this is the Dark Master, which, let's face it, he's powerful and probably tied with Machidramon for heightened strength, but he rules the water portion of Spiral Mountain and volunteered to take down the Digidestined. Yeah, so as you can see, Metocedramon has his world cut out. So yeah, let's get into Puppetmon or Pinocchomon. Puppetmon or Pinocchomon is based off Pinocchio by the Japanese name, obviously, and his appearance might go to Pinocchio if you watch the English version. Anyways, he rules over the forest part of Spiral Mountain, and he has minions, and his history is that a hacker somehow managed to defeat a Cherrymon and made Puppetmon out of the wood, and turned him into the Puppetmon, as you could see. Puppetmon has a house that could turn into a giant golem mech thing, Bigamabob. Puppetmon's attack is Puppet Hammer, or actually I'm going with Puppet Hammer because that's what it is in the English dub. I don't know what it is in the Japanese. And then there's Flying Copter that he just throws his puppet cross thing at the opponent, and he also could shoot missiles out of his puppet hammer, which I think that's the attack. Puppet hammer. Yeah, he could also marionette people with strings that he produces out of his fingers, which I guess I guess he retracted or broke when Metal Garurumon was battling him in the Darkmaster's arc. Anyways, Puppetmon or Pinocchomon. Yeah, I'm just gonna use Pinocchomon for when I do the Digimon review series stuff. Was defeated by Metal Garurumon with his Halloween Blaster. And that's the English version. I hardly know the Japanese attacks. For an anime channel thing, I know it's terrible to not know any Japanese things, but yeah, I know. I've technically watched the English version, not the Japanese version. But Pinocchomon was defeated in the end, and now it's time to move on to Machine Dramon. Oh, and I nearly forgot, all that Puppetmon or Pinocchomon wants is just a friend, and it makes it more sad when he gets defeated in the end. I forgot to mention this, so I'm putting this in afterwards. So yeah, now let's get on to Machine Dramon's arc, or as he's known in Japan, Nogindramon. So I know he's called Machine Dramon in the dub, but Nogindramon in the sub, but I'm going with Machine Dramon because it's much easier than Nugindramon because it's easier to pronounce. And you just heard by my stuff. You just heard by my stuffle there. Yeah, it's best to go with Machine Dramon. Anyways, Machine Dramon rode over the city parts of Spiral Mountain, and he belongs to the Metal Empire. And he's pretty much some sort of fusion, I think, between different Digimon. He has, let's see, he has black Metal Greymon's armor and arm, uh, two different Digimon, which I forgot the name of. Black Tyrannomons, no wait, Black Metal Tyrannomons, Metal Jaws, and stuff. And he also has uh, what's that? Andromon. So headpiece says kneecaps and stuff, but Machinedramon has an attack called Giga Cannon. Probably has Metal Greymount's extending claw thing, and Airdramon's attack thing from whatever his claw is, and probably Giga Missile from Metal Greymon. Anyways, he was defeated by War Greymon. Yeah, two Darkmasters were defeated by the two main Digidestined Digimon, which were both two popular ones. Uh, yeah. Anyways, War Greymon Stromon killers killed Machine Dramon, and it was very anticlimactic. And yeah, basically, Machine Dramon didn't even once fire any of his attacks to War Greymon. I mean, I knew he could have dodged, but at least something would have been better than nothing. Am I right? For most of you who think the fight was anticlimactic. Anyways, he did hack Izzy's or Itchy's computer. If we're going by the Japanese, you know what? I think I might have to look at the Japanese version to see what Izzy's Japanese name was. But hacked it anyway to find Izzy and Taiji. Oh, and Tai's name is Taiji in Japanese. Yeah, so, anyways, Machinedramon was sliced in half and defeated and killed by War Greymon, and then the city part of Spiral Mountain was destroyed, and now it's on to Paimon. Now we're on to Paimon. He is the last and the leader of the Darkmasters. He has so many abilities that I think I might need to extend this after a few more pages. This isn't scripted, obviously. I mean, like the few more pages online. Still not scripted. I mean, like the frames and stuff. But anyways, he has his signature attack, Trump Sword, which he could use his real swords, or he could use faint phantom swords. You know, fake, like they're not real, and they're phantoms, like they appearance of being real. And he could also pull out one of his swords to slice stuff, and he has Clown Shriek, which he uses one hand for, then uses double time to severely injure Wargreymon, and he even uses telescope to spy on the Digidestined or chosen children if you're going by Japanese, and then he also has white sheets which he could use to turn people and Digimon into toys. And I forgot to mention this while talking about Pinocchimon, but Pinocchimon also has dolls of the chosen children which you could use to control them. Not the Digimon partners as well, just the children. I think I might go explain this in a theory video about Pinocchimon. But anyways, Paimon has so many attacks. He even could reflect Angemon's attack. And he also is the leader of the Nightmare Army. And all the Dark Masters except Metal Siegmon are virus types. Metal Siegmon is a data type. And yeah, Paimon is a clown looking Digimon, and basically he has so many attacks I think I just covered most of them. He even has his Nightmare Army, but he was defeated by Magna Angemon or Holy Angemon if we're going by Japanese, into the Gate of Darkness, or Gate of Destiny, or Heaven's Gate if we're going by Japanese. I think Heaven's Gate isn't the Japanese. Yeah, and he was hit with so many attacks that he could hardly dodge or even use so many attacks at once, and he was basically defeated by Wargreymon and Middle Garurumon, sending him into the Gate of Destiny or Heaven's Gate, like I said, and Paimon rolled over the wastelands. I think I said this earlier, but I want to remind you, or I forgot to add it. He rode over the wastelands of Spiral Mountain, and yeah. And now it's time to move on to the last villain of this arc, Apocalypse, the creator of the Darkmasters. Apocalypse, the last villain for the Chosen Children and Digimon Adventure. He is made of the fallen data of Digimon that failed to digivolve. Yeah, the ones that were actually destroyed when they were digivolving. Yeah, if you fail to digivolve properly, you either get corrupted or get turned into a new Numamon. Yeah, I'll explain Numamon when I get to him. Yeah, so Apocalypse is the DNA digivolved form of all four Dark Masters in one. And he has so many abilities as well that he can morph his claws into the Dark Masters or previous villains. He could use Vamphimon or Myotismon's Crimson Lightning attack, and he could also use Machine Dramon's Giga Cannon, and he could use Metal Seedramon's River of Power, and he could also use Edamon's ability to de-digivolve uh, Digimon, and he also has Debimon's Touch of Evil when he could extend it out of a claw, but it takes so many attacks from the Digidestined to destroy him, but first they had to get rid of the claws to end up destroying him. I might go over how Apocalypse was created in the first place in a Fury video, but this is an explaining video. He's also a virus type, and he also is a humanoid, kind of like Paimon, but he's basically just a wandering ball of death that created the Dark Masters. I don't know how, but I have a theory about that, but I'll explain it more in topic as soon as I get to making that video. And yeah, he's basically like a giant uh spear thing that he could store his claws in and himself in, and he holds all the gloom and agony, and he seems to be in a lot of pain about it. In the Japanese version, he even closeted himself for questioning stuff why he always must suffer, and runs on cold and hot water, which he says in the American version. I wanted to bring it up, even though it's supposed to be just a joke, but I think it's more to explain stuff. Yeah, I think that's. I just wanted to bring it up, even though it is supposed to be just a joke and stuff. But he literally has dark metaphors that he uses, and Mimi, the chosen children. Yeah, Mimi, a part of the chosen children. She even has to cover her eyes thanks to this stuff. Although the American version makes zero sense, but in Japanese it does make sense because he's cloned himself. But anyways, he was destroyed by all the chosen children, destroying him and Wargram on a Metal Garurumon once again, using Terra Force or Gaia Force by Japanese and Metal Wolf Claw, yeah, to destroy him. He uses his attack that could wipe out both worlds, but all the chosen children ended up using their respective tags and crests, even though he destroyed those. The life of the Digivices to seal him up, and the explosion was contained, and I don't know if it's still there or not. We never come back to this stuff in later incarnations and stuff, but he was contained, so I guess in that explosion fizzled out, and he was just killed on the instant, and was sent to the underworld, like Edmon was, or sent to the Dark Ocean, where he could further evolve into whatever dark thing there was. And I nearly forgot to mention this with Machine Dramon, but he could DNA Digivolve with Chimeramon to create a Digimon, which I forgot the name of, but yeah, Pokemon has that same ability with slowing time down or stopping time in the human world, or increasing time in the digital world and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if he has the Dark Spore stuff as well, but he's basically that. But a Pokemon was defeated, and yeah, that's the end of this explaining stuff for the Darkmasters and a Pokemon. Now, like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, and remember, it's anime for life.